Hi, and welcome to FrazlCast. Climb aboard the Gnome Train.
Woo! Chugga, 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 woo!
Please make sure to keep your limbs and experimental instruments inside the train at all times. And now, on with the show.
A podcast by a Blizzard fan gnome about World of Warcraft and geeky stuff. I promise you, they do talk about the World of Warcraft. They just go off the rails sometimes.
So I'm Frazley, and I am joined again by one of my best friends, Brandon, Sniperfrog, or Mr. Alley.
Call me whatever you want.
Call me whatever I want.
Within reason.
Okay, sounds good. And Tellerin wants to know, do opposites attract? Does Mr. Alley tell everyone to remember to watch their feet?
No, not exactly, but I do tell people that if they have happy feet, they have happy days.
Ooh, and I can definitely dance. You know what? I explain why I have so many happy days. On this episode that made Allie's eye hurt from eye rolling at the puns in my marketing of this, we will talk about what we've been up to recently, 8.3, and then we will see what else we can get into. So before we get into that, Epicinsanity, what time is it?
It's time to go around the table.
Great idea. So what have you been up to recently?
Well, I've been pretty busy since the last time I've been on the show. First and foremost, work has been pretty crazy. I have a lot of potential trips coming up. One which has been all but confirmed, which I'm actually really excited for, is a trip to Ireland.
Ooh.
Potentially over St. Patrick's Day.
Wow. Quite a time to go there.
Definitely. I don't know how much time I'm going to have to do me things, because it's obviously a work trip. We're going to be repairing a machine, but it's Ireland on St. Patrick's Day. I'm definitely going to try to enjoy myself.
Yeah.
Also found out that they may be sending me to Switzerland for training.
Oh.
And I didn't tell you this when we were discussing in chat, but our corporate company in Switzerland actually has an opening for an electrician, and they want to see if one of the electricians here in Colorado want to transfer to Switzerland.
Wow.
Yeah.
You would join one of the many podcasters I know in a foreign country. Wow.
Now, I don't have any details on that yet.
Yeah.
Other than they need an electrician and they want to bring somebody from within the company. So I don't know money. I don't know about any kind of relocation assistance or anything like that. But who knows where life will take you.
Yeah. And if it's one thing I've known over my life, you never know where you're going to be in years. I mean, that is awesome.
Allie's saying in chat that we're going to Switzerland.
Hey.
No, unless the job is just absolutely.
I think that's an awesome opportunity, and it shows that you've done an amazing job. If they're eyeing you as one of the ones. Oh, sorry, another eye pun.
Well, they say hard work is in the eye of the beholder, just like beauty is. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Outside of work, I've been playing a lot of different video games outside of World of Warcraft as well. I went ahead and picked up the new Pokemon Shield.
Ooh.
A couple of months ago because I was sent on a trip to Illinois for work. Not as exciting as Switzerland or Thailand or anything like that, but yeah, it's a trip.
Yeah.
And I wanted something to play on the Switch, so I got the new Pokemon, and I'm enjoying it very much so far. A little worried about the whole, I don't know if you heard about Dexit.
No.
They took most of the Pokemon out of the game.
I had heard that things were not put in because of capacity on the Switch, and they wanted to give it good graphics, but I had not heard it was most of it. Wow.
Yeah, most of them. They cut from, I think they're up to 750 Pokemon now, and they cut back, including the new ones, all the way back down to 200.
Okay, so more than some of the original Pokemon games, but wow.
And then they just recently announced a DLC where they're going to be adding a lot of them back in. There's some controversy behind that, but I'm not going to get into that here. But I have been enjoying the game. It's a lot of fun, especially for somebody, for just a handheld system to take wherever I want to take it.
And it sounds like they've done an amazing job to really bridge that gap between handheld and main console.
Yeah. I'm loving the Switch. It's probably one of my favorite consoles that I've had in recent history.
It's quite amazing how that is such a good complement to even console like Xbox and PlayStation to PC. I mean, Nintendo was smart in how they put it in its market.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then I got Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order for Christmas.
Ooh, perfect timing, because when I saw the Star Wars movie, I was like, oh, I want Fallen Order. How is that?
Hard.
I've heard that.
A lot of people are comparing it to the Dark Souls games, and I'm sure you've heard of the Dark Souls style games, and it definitely is. There's a lot of parrying and dodging and dying and a lot more dying on top of that. And I had to suck up my gamer pride and lower the difficulty a couple times just to get through a couple of sections. But the story is phenomenal. It's so good. If you have a PlayStation 4, I highly recommend that game.
Where does the storyline take place in the timeline?
It takes place a few months after the third movie. What is it, Revenge of the Sith?
Okay. So it's between that and the original series.
And episode 4, A New Hope.
Okay.
It's about one of the Jedi survivors from Order 66. Without going into too many spoilers, is about his attempts to restore the Jedi Order.
Nice. Wow.
And obviously it doesn't work because there's nothing about that in episode 4.
Yeah.
But it's been a very enjoyable story.
So it's like Titanic that you kind of feel it's not going to go through, but you're enjoying the journey as you go along.
Yeah, and I got a story about that. Like, my grandfather was there for the Titanic.
Oh, wow.
And he kept on telling everybody that he knew the boat was going to sink. He insisted that it was going to sink. And eventually, the theater ushers asked him to leave the theater.
That was good. That was good. You really captivated me. Oh, that was good. I think it's in your Destiny, and I see even playing Destiny 2.
Mm-hmm. They recently just went over to a new season pass style of system where you have a bunch of stuff that you can unlock. So there's been a lot of stuff to do there. I've been playing Destiny since its release back in 2014, I think it came out.
It's been that. Wow. You're right. Wow.
Because they had 3 years of Destiny 1, and then now they're on the third year of Destiny 2. So there's been a lot of new content and a lot of new story, and I love the lore of Destiny 2. It gets into some of the, like we were talking earlier, Lovecraftian stuff, esoteric stuff, strange science, and all that stuff, but it's really fun. And they just brought back one of my favorite characters from the lore, Saint 14, who, coincidentally enough, is voiced by the same guy who did Vindicator Marad in Warlords of Draenor.
Oh, wow. How has it been since the switchover from Activision to Steam?
Little rough. It's very clear that they're struggling financially without Activision's money. They've kind of doubled down on their cosmetic shop, which they've been getting a lot of backlash on. But it's one of those things where if you don't want to buy it, don't buy it.
Yeah.
I mean, none of the stuff they sell in their shop is important for the game. It's literally all cosmetics.
It's not like, other than the Battle Pass, they're not charging a sub to play the game. So I can understand offsetting it more with DLC in the cosmetic format.
Their Battle Pass format, it's basically $10 every 90 days.
Okay.
And you get 90 days worth of content. And if you buy the premium Battle Pass, all the free players have access to the free part of the Battle Pass. But if you buy the premium, you get access to other story and all kinds of other stuff. So it's basically a $3.33 a month subscription if you want to do it that way.
I would love that for World of Warcraft. I mean,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, I saw that you just got the mouse mount.
Yeah. It's one reason why I don't play ESO, because ESO today just announced their Skyrim expansion. Mm-hmm. And I don't play ESO because I want their 15-hour month with like the crafting bag on any character and stuff like that. And I still want the cosmetics. And ESO has their optional sub and then a bunch of cosmetics. Whereas at least with the WoW, they have cash stuff, but it's not limited time.
Right.
You can still buy even the rat, which is so cute. I was on my Mecha Gnome running around the squeakers. Oh, it is adorable.
Yeah, Ellie and I have 6-month subs, so we're going to be getting it in the mail. They said before the end of the month.
Nice. And I'm glad Blizzard does that. I did have one thing. I was talking with somebody who's on month to month. I wish they could at least say, hey, if you're subbed for the next 6 months, because in a way, the ones who are subbed month to month for 6 months are actually paying more than the ones who pay a 6-month sub. So
yeah.
They should actually get it, but there's probably some reason there. It's I don't agree with it.
I see it as Blizzard is incentivizing and rewarding loyal customers. If you're going to subscribe for 6 months, they're going to say, here, have this cute little mouse mount. Yeah,
for a contract, whereas like the other ones, they don't know if the person's going to unsub or if their credit card's going to fail.
And I guess you can still buy it for $25 too.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do the 6-month sub, you can still have it, which is great.
Yeah. It's like that T-Rails charger because that was the Diablo 1 year.
I think that was if you got the Diablo 3 Collector's Edition.
Yeah, and that one I did not get.
I know they had a mini Diablo pet.
The Vanilla Collector's Edition, which that one's hard to get now because of Classic.
Right.
And yeah, Kappa's one that they've been subbed since February 2005. They've not gotten any of that.
Right.
I do feel like they get shafted a little bit in that.
I used to play City of Heroes and City of Villains.
Yeah.
A couple years into their development, they gave what they call veteran rewards. The longer you went with an uninterrupted sub, the more rewards you got. There were people who, like me, who had been subbed since beta. And you ended up getting all kinds of fancy cosmetics and in-game things for being just subbed for that long without uninterrupted. And I think Blizzard would do well if they would implement something like that.
Oh, yeah. Especially during the lulls that we have in content. If people were like, I'll just stay subbed to get this. I think that they would do amazingly well with that.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of WoW, Allie and I managed to snag AOTC Ashara this past week.
Nice!
Thanks to the Phalanx of Nod.
That's with Seraphis, right?
That's with Seraphis, yes.
Cool. So a lot of bacon was passed around when you guys got that.
A lot of bacon. We all turned into gammon in celebration.
Nice!
Gammon, will save us.
Well, not all of us. A lot of us did. It's fun. And now, obviously, we're in 8.3, so I'm excited for that.
Have you had a chance to play 8.3?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I actually just got to the point where, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I've upgraded my cloak for the first time.
Nice. You probably were smarter than I was. When I got to that moment, I had this stone in my bag. I'm like, what do I do with this? And Nihar was like, you click on your cloak. Oh!
Yep, done that. Killed a whole bunch of rares so far and have gotten nothing. But that's about par for the course with me. I have some of the worst luck in this game outside of, I'd say, Allie and her quest for Invincible.
Yes. Oh, so many of us. Invincible's so elusive. I mean, one day he will drop. I found out from Christy Golden that Invincible's a he. So now,
okay.
Because I tweeted out that I'm going to get it, and Christy was like, "Well, just for reference, it was a he." I was like, at first I was like, one, Christy Golden replied to a tweet, but two, I was like, I always remember that now.
But I think that pretty much catches me up.
Nice. A lot of my weeks this week's been WoW. On Monday night, I hooked up with the Scruffy Druid and Mr. Scruffy, and we did a 2 to 3 hour Twitch Sings party.
Oh, nice.
I had not done one of these, and it's an in-game thing where everybody can go live, but you're all in a group party, and then you pass the mic between everybody, and you can sing along either publicly or privately. So duets are not there yet, which I think that part would be fun. And the camera is only on you. I think that's where they encourage everyone to be streaming, so that way you can show like you're singing and stuff like that. But that was a lot of fun. And wow, the Scruffies, they have some pipes they can sing. I'm like, I wish I could sing like that.
I could carry a tune if it had a handle.
I'm with you, and I keep doing it, and I'm having fun. But yeah. But then after that, over in WoW, thanks to Catalina Wine Mixer, I finished FrazlCast last week, and Kappa was like, "Hey, do you want to run with us?" Like, sure. And I said, so they invited me on a raid, and I told them, hey, if I'm pulling the group back, feel free to bench me. They were gracious enough, and I got ALTC. I was carried, so I was not, and I admit that fully, and I thank them for that. But that was a cool fight. I still accidentally disobeyed Queen Ashara. I was trying to obey her rules.
You don't disobey the queen.
No. Oh. And she killed me for it. And then in Burning Crusade, I've been working on Lore Master, and I got Zenger Marsh and Shadowmoon Valley. So that means Terrakar is the only one left. And Shadowmoon Valley is, I think, my least favorite Lore Master because of all the hidden quests, all the things you got to go for. Nagrand has one where you got to find a gnome that only spawns every so often. But Shadowmoon, you have to figure out, where am I on these quests?
I remember Shadowmoon. It was difficult.
In the next leveling change, I'm never going back to Outland unless I have to for achievements, but that's going to be on a high level character. I'm done leveling through Shadow. And you can see where Wrath, they get better. Wrath still has some quirks of Burning Crusade, but they get there so much better with their stuff ever since. And while I've been working on 8.3, so through all this stuff, Fraz is now 428.
Very nice.
Heart is now at 68. The intro quest, I'm not going to spoil it because you've got to play the intro quest. Just incredible. I did Horrific Visions with Capo and Telleroid, and that was really fun. And finished the Mechagon storyline so I could unlock Mecha Gnomes.
I haven't done that yet.
King Mechagon was the last thing I was needing, and I didn't want to do a whole mythic Mechagon. but now it's in the Dungeon Finder, so I just queued up for the workshop, and it was actually a steamroll. I must have been with like some good players who did a lot of stuff. The hardest part of Operation Mechagon, there are these stealth bots, and I'm like going through, and at one point they're like, where's the warrior? I'm like, I'm still behind the stealth bot. So thankfully we had a warlock and they summoned me past all this.
Is that when you need to hide in like the steam clouds and they have the circles of where they'll see you?
Yes. Oh, that was infuriating.
You know, you'd think me playing a rogue, I'd be sneaky and be able to get through that section really easily, but I can't. I get seen all the time. So you're not the only one.
I feel better on that because I'm just like, am I like the worst player in Azeroth that I can't get through it?
Not by far.
And after I did this, I rolled a Mechanome. Now, Capo had this idea. Everyone has always thought that because of FrazlCast that I should be Frazley's a mage. And I was like, yeah, but I'm a warrior. So I made my Mechanome mage called FrazlCast.
There we go.
As Plaggy Boy says, it works on 2 levels. Well, I told him it only works on 1 due to my height, but it's mage casting. So I
don't know. It's a gnome. You might not even reach that 1 level.
Oh, that's good. Oh, I like that. I like you, Brandon. You're fun.
I tried.
And still working on my Vulpera rep. Before I was done, though, Capo had an idea for a Death Knight. So I rolled a Mechanome Death Knight named Frazoth, because that's kind of the destroyer of all.
Frazoth.
So, yeah.
Very nice.
So, speaking of destroying everything, right now we're in a patch that's destroying everything in existence. There was an interview that Pete showed me on Millennium with Ian Hazzikostas. I like these interviews that are not just fluff of here's what's in the patch, but they kind of go into what they're going on. So what were your takeaways from this interview?
Ian was being very cagey about whether we're even going to kill N'Zoth.
Yeah.
You know, they asked him the question about if we defeat N'Zoth in Ny'alotha, is he going to die? And he's like, maybe.
And that's smart because N'Zoth is such a huge boss. I would not want to beat him this soon.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This is our first direct interaction with him. He's always had his tentacles and everything, and he's never actually been really there for us to interact with. We've always been interacting through his agents or through whispers or through insanity or whatever. The fact that the first time we fight him, we kill him, doesn't really feel very good. So if he's hinting at the fact that maybe he doesn't die, maybe the old god stuff is going to continue in the future.
Michael Gaines is saying that 20th anniversary will be the old gods.
All the old gods.
And he's saying that Varian's going to return as a Death Knight. That would be interesting, though. I think he's kind of in pieces. I mean, it will be interesting in Shadowlands if they explain why Varian's one of the ones that does not return. Because I know Gul'dan destroyed him, but what happens? Did he destroy the soul, too? Can you destroy a soul?
I think he did, because a lot of Gul'dan's magic is about consuming souls as fuel.
Okay.
So I have a feeling what he did is he kind of tore Varian's soul apart.
Whereas, like, the Shadowlands brings it, but it doesn't consume the soul. Though, that would then be interesting that Sylvanas or whoever's using the souls there, are they consuming them and, like, are, like, Kael'thas there until their soul gets consumed?
Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm hoping that Shadowlands actually answers a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. And during the interview, Ian did say that defeating an old god, we're going to see them removing their power and it'll put things out of balance. But does that also mean we're going to kill the old god, or are we going to just take their soul in some way?
It's like Yasharj.
Yeah.
Like in the lore, one of the Titans basically plucked him out of Azeroth like a pimple and tore him to small pieces. So he's dead. But despite the fact that he's dead, he still influences things. So maybe we do kill N'Zoth. Maybe we stab him in his eye, and then we stab him in another eye, and then we keep stabbing him in the eyes because he's got too many eyes. And then he dies. But his tentacles are still out there influencing things, still moving things in the direction of the Void Lords.
Almost like a Horcrux in a way.
Almost like a Horcrux.
That would be interesting. Also, now we know Voldemort's an old god. Now I see.
Voldemort is an old god. There we go. You heard it here first.
Yes. And we're going to see Voldemort pop up at some point in the...
And the expansion.
Yeah. I've been here with my snake nose for a long time. And I like that N'Zoth is not directly attacking us. but that he's subverting us and he's kind of twisting our thoughts.
Oh, yeah.
Very clever.
I mean, it's not until we actually get to Nyalotha and we actually attack him that we actually get to confront him.
And I wonder if that explains some of the emotional storyline we had in Pandaria, because in Pandaria, people did things out of bitterness that they struggled with. And I'm like, Yasharj subverting people in that way.
Yeah, yeah. And maybe that's how N'Zoth does it. He does it through, changing your thoughts, influencing your thoughts.
Yeah.
Whereas Yasharj did it through influencing your emotions.
Because already in 8.3, we saw somebody get influenced, and that's all I'll say there. But we already...
No spoilers.
No spoilers. And one thing that we have to go over, because somebody's already yelling at their screen, I count white essences. I count white essences. We got to go over that. And so Ian kind of said that he sees essences like trinkets.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not a raider, but I don't do mythic, but you do raiding, so you're getting essences and stuff like that. How does that rub you in hearing that?
I can see it from both perspectives. On one hand, it's really easy to get one of your alts to about 50% power. It's pretty easy to unlock the level 1 essences. But for me, I'm playing a monk in one of my raid groups because I need a tank, and I'm playing my rogue in another raid group because I need DPS. Now, I could very easily work on just my monk, but I don't want to do that. So I'm in one of those unique situations where I have 2 characters. Now, they're not so much alts of each other as they are basically split attention. I don't like the fact that certain essences that I think should be account-wide are not account-wide. But on the other hand, I understand why they're not doing it, in the fact that the essences are content. They're something to work forward. And if they just let you have them for all of your characters, they're going to be losing game time. And also, my monk is primarily a tank. So a lot of my monk's essences aren't the same as my rogue's essences.
I could see that. So I could see a compromise where you work for like you're tanking essences, but then you work for your DPS. So if they were to do account wide essences, they're not going to. And Ian said that, but I could at least see working toward groups of it.
Mm-hmm. And they compromise. They relax some of the reputation requirements for some of those essences. But I have noticed that they have not relaxed the requirements for those ones where you got to collect various pieces and then right-click on it to form the essence. They haven't relaxed that. That's a little annoying.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I do understand. I mean, we're at the end of the expansion. If you want to focus on an alt, focus on an alt. You just got to understand that your alt isn't going to be as powerful as your main character.
And I think we are going to have plenty of time if you do want to get the character up, because in a couple different things, he alluded to how long this 8.3 is going to be. Like he said, there are more bosses in this raid because this raid's going to last longer. At one point, they ask about a Greek cruise, which sounds a lot of fun. And hey, Millennium, if you want, can we schedule a Blizzard cruise where everybody signs up? We all party with like Ian and Lance and stuff like that. I think that would be awesome. Have like Karen out there, Christy. I mean, Ian was recommending a Greek cruise for the summer. I think we're going to be in 8.3 for quite a bit.
Yeah, kind of hinting that maybe Shadowlands isn't dropping until fall or winter.
Yeah.
It's a little disappointing. I'm kind of ready for Shadowlands.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, 8.3 just dropped, and this is a very, very meaty patch. There's a lot to do. But at the same time, I had a chance to play some stuff at BlizzCon, and I'm ready for Shadowlands. I'm stoked for it.
Yeah, I'm leveling my Mechanome. I'm like, oh, please give me the new expansion leveling already. Just let me go to whatever expansion I want. I have to go. I'm going down to Wetlands. Then I got to go there till about 60. And then I can go to any zone I want to, pretty much. But yeah, I'm kind of wanting that because we have so many great new ally races and Death Knights of every race.
Oh, yeah. Which I want to roll a Dark Iron Death Knight. Ally does too. I just think it is going to be fun.
Now, have you heard, Seek Jat told me about this. If you look at the heritage armor of a Dark Iron, the heritage armor, the lips are duckbills.
That's why I don't wear the helmet. I think the helmet's hideous.
Yes, same as the arms on Worgen. I love the heritage armor for Worgen. I mean, the arms just, it's too garish, in my opinion.
Fortunately, they just recently allowed us to hide pretty much any armor piece we want to.
Yeah.
You can do that. You can hide the arms.
And for 0 copper, because like I added heirlooms to my Mechanome, and I was like, I don't love the hood. And I didn't have enough gold to transbog it to, and I was like, oh, hiding it's free.
Hiding it's free.
Which is nice. Thank you, Blizzard, on that. And one bit of news that is probably disappointing, especially with how long it's going to be. Ian has said that there's no 8.3.5 planned.
They have no plans for 8.3.5. Kind of disappointing, but at the same time, makes sense. I would rather them focus on releasing a good new expansion than putting out another half patch.
Yeah. And I think why they're a little hesitant to release so soon is with how certain systems in BFA needed a little bit more testing and tweaking. And maybe there's such a huge change. I think they want to work on it. And plus, they already have tech issues. I'm hearing in chat that the WoW servers went down right as we went live. So FrazlCast is so powerful that we brought everything down.
They want everybody to come watch your show, as they should.
Oh, thank you, Blizzard. And thank you, Brandon. Wow. I'm sad at the 8.3.5, but I'm also kind of thinking, what could they add to it? And that's kind of why this week I wanted to ask the community. Multiple people told me that there is what Ian said. I said, yeah, this was a theory crafting. But I said, if Blizzard were to have done 8.3.5, that's probably how I should have phrased it better. What would you add into it? And we got a lot of answers from Twitter, Facebook, Discord, and Instagram.
Well, we have Thomas E. Clifton Jr. said if we were to get an 8.3.5, he would say, by now all essences should be unlocked account-wide. Other than that, nothing else. And
I could see that if enough people give feedback. Because in the interview, Ian did say multiple times that feedback from players is valuable. And I've always believed they may not do what we want, but Blizzard does listen to feedback.
Oh, yeah.
I could see if enough people are asking for these account-wide essences, we could see an emergency. Here you go. Here's 8.3.5. Account-wide essences. You're good.
8.3.5 is just account-wide essences. Nothing else.
You heard it here, folks. Brandon has the inside scoop.
That's my prediction.
I could see that. I really could see it. I even saw somebody say that the account-wide essences are turning people to Amazon's New World MMO. And Nihar says, now Blizzard is crashing FrazlCast because, yeah, I'm going to break the fourth wall. And right as Brandon said that, everything went down. Yeah. So Titan Screed said he'll get in there first. And sorry, Pete, you weren't there first. Thomas was there first. But they said account-wide essences, and they said, real answer, story content that leads properly into Shadowlands and ends the main story. And I could see that, something to bridge between the end in the pre-patch.
Yeah, I'm actually excited to see the pre-patch too, because supposedly it's going to be something very similar to the pre-patch that led into Wrath of the Lich King with the zombie event. So I was one of the few people who actually enjoyed that. So it should be interesting and fun.
Yeah, I've loved the pre-patches. I've only been I was part of the Burning Crusade for just a little bit, but I was a part of Legion and BFA, and I enjoyed those. I loved how the world changed, and I was one of those who AFK'd in the Legion invasions in pre-patch on a few characters. I admit it. I admit it.
Shame.
I feel bad. This is my confession.
All right, I did too with a couple of my alts, so I'm not going to blame you for anything.
Okay, good. Whew.
We have Douglas Griffin who said, personally, I would need to explore 8.3 to see what I would want added. Undead Paladins are the main thing he wants from WoW.
Ooh, that would be interesting. Undead Paladins. And then you could bring back things like Uther.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down for that.
I mean, they're already exploring the concept of Lightforged Undead.
Yeah.
So, I'm all for them just completely relaxing all class race restrictions.
Yeah.
Make any class able to be any race. I mean, I want to be a Worgen monk. Why can't I be a Worgen monk?
Yeah, I want to be a gnome druid. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you can have, like a little bear cub form and a kitten form. And
you're making me excited. I want that. Oh.
Your healing form is a tiny little bonsai tree.
Can players also can I have a Zen box and all that, and people can use the little stick to the Zen garden and move it around?
There we go. That works.
And Lucas J said, rep catch up for allied races and prep for the new leveling experience. I am down for that. I think that would be a cool thing and a smart thing. I see why they do the allied races that they do. They want you to show that you're not a new player because they want to give you something extra. But it would be nice to have some of that rep catch up. I'm trying to remember if they've relaxed some of the Nightborn, but stuff that they added in BFA would be nice to say, hey, if you've completed the main storyline of BFA, here you go. You just got to get to friendly.
You get the allied races. Get to friendly.
Yeah, because Friendly's easier than exalted and honored. Oh, I'm still working on
Sure.
the Vulpira. I'm still working on the Vulpira. I mean, I probably should have done a few more weeks than what I did, but there's so much other stuff I had to do in the game too.
One of the biggest reasons my rogue was a human before I race changed her to a Kultiran was because humans get an extra 10% reputation increase. So it made doing all those reputation grinds go so much faster.
Yeah, I had that especially with, I was doing Blood Sale, and I happened to put it on the one character that I did not need to be angry with the goblins,
Right.
and everyone else is trying to figure out why they're taking so long to get Blood Sale. I'm like, hell, it's easy for me. I'm already honored, and they're like, oh, you're human. Oh,
Reputation increase.
yeah.
We have Character Craft, who said, flying unlocked for everybody in Warlords of Draenor and Legion should be a thing already. And I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, there's no reason why you should still have to unlock that stuff in those expansions.
Yeah, I'd say make the mount something that's still behind the Pathfinders just to give people something to do. But yeah, flying should just be something that you get automatically. Like I can get the mount shoes, so I can walk. I still can't get the discount or the water walking mount model until I do those.
Capo said, delete gnomes from the game.
Capo! Ah! Flame Flash also said Rep kept up as well. So same with Lucas. And Mailsir said World of Warcraft 2. That would be a tough one. I mean, I don't think you could put World of Warcraft 2 inside of 8.3.5.
Mm-hmm. That'd be a lot to add in just a half patch.
Yeah.
Ali said she has two different thoughts. The first is to get Nyalotha as an actual playable zone, not just a raid. That would be so cool. The other is to bridge the gap in the story between Battle for Azeroth and Shadowlands.
I like that, because when I did the Mechanome unlock, there is a part where you go into Mechagon and you can kind of walk around. And I was like, I would love to turn some of these city dungeons into playable places to go. I mean, like Shadowforge, you can go as a Dark Iron, but it would be cool to go there and still walk around, go to vendors and do different things like that.
Yeah, see the city folk walking around, and you just explore the city, and not as a dungeon, but like as a zone.
Yeah, I could even say like a photo mode. That would be interesting. That was fun, and I never did it, but I know people who did it in The Last of Us. They went to different areas and just looked at all the stuff.
Take photos.
Yeah, there's a selfie camera.
Yep, go be a tourist.
Yeah. And Sai says account-wide essences.
Yeah, that seems to be very popular.
I wonder why. It's not like it's not on Twitter at all.
We have Tom, who just simply says Shadowlands.
Yes.
I think they're ready for the next expansion too.
Yeah, I'm with them. I'm ready because I think it's time, Blizzard. It's time for us to head into the lands. Oh, I mean, at least we're ready. I don't know if the game's ready yet, but I'm ready.
I'm hoping I get into the beta for it. I've been signed up for beta tests since Cataclysm. I got to the Cataclysm beta. I got into the Warlords of Draenor beta. I got into the Legion beta, but I didn't get into Battle for Azeroth beta.
BFA I got into only because I won a free beta key from Darkmoon Herald because I replied to one of their things. I'm hesitant to do the beta for Shadowlands because I don't want to ruin the story, and I don't know if I would test enough. But part of me also wants to test it and stream it, and then report bugs as I find them. So I'm kind of in a mixed bag compared to where I was before when BFA was not launched yet.
Don't want to spoil it for yourself, but you also would like to help out as much as you can.
Yeah, and I would definitely report bugs if I got in.
Oh yeah,
and maybe bugs is why Michael says Dance Studio would be cool. And yeah, I would love Dance Studio.
They owe us a dance. It's on the back of the box for Wrath of the Lich King.
Yeah. Oh,
it says there was a dance studio coming, and they didn't give us a dance studio. Come on, Blizzard.
Yeah. And if you're going to do cosmetics, I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but there's no dancing around it. They could sell dance moves in the cash shop.
Oh yeah, that's something that they need to get down with.
Yeah. You buy dance lessons, and then you have to go in and do a quest the same way where you have to do a quest to get the transmog from the Shadowlands pre-order. It'd be kind of cool if you went into the dance studio and you had this quest to learn a move, and you would buy a pack of lessons. Oh, and if they wanted to really be evil, if you didn't finish the quest in your pack of lessons, you had to buy more lessons until you learned all the dance.
Oh, that would be terrible.
I take dancing, and there are times I go to a dance lesson I paid for, and my instructor, as much as they try to get into my head, I don't retain a thing that they said during that lesson. So I just paid for a lesson that didn't do me any good.
Allie and I, when we got married, we actually went and took dance lessons.
Oh,
They were paid for by my parents, so we could teach ourselves how to dance for our first dance, because neither one of us had any kind of rhythm when it came to that. I will be the first to admit that I forgot most of what they taught us by the time we actually went to the wedding.
oh. So did you do any of it at the wedding, or most of it was?
It came back to me, but some of it was actually improvised. But I got to say that Allie's a pretty good dancer, and she followed my lead very well.
I find most people that I dance with, the follows are the ones who typically they get it better than most of the leads ever do. My dance partner, who was on a past episode of this show, she does an amazing job, and if it wasn't for her, I would not get through half the stuff that I do.
I would like to see more allied races, specifically the Broken.
Ooh, and that would give us more content. I mean, I know we wouldn't have the revamped leveling, but it would at least make it feel like there's more to do in the game.
Because I've always liked the Broken story. You know, how they were Draenei who lost their connection to the light and mutated, and they'd be an interesting addition to the game, and they'd just be fun to unlock.
Yeah, and they would definitely fit. People have been wanting Naga for the longest time. It would be cool to have that. And I've been enjoying learning about the lore through some of the ally races that have come into the game. I would love more micro holidays. When they announced this in Legion, I thought, okay, this is going to be really cool. We're going to get a bunch of micro patches, holidays and stuff like that. And then when they're adding it, but not at the pace that I feel like they should be adding it.
Yeah.
I want the world to feel more alive. I love it when I walk in somewhere and someone's doing something. And I know that a lot of them don't have transmog rewards or collectibles, but it's fun knowing that this area is different for a day. And it would be cool to have a lot more.
It's a toss-up for me for my favorite micro holiday between the Moonkin ones, where you get all the baby Moonkins that follow you around, or the one where you have the Hippogriff hatchling on your shoulder for a week.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Can't decide which one's my favorite.
It'd be cool to have like even more of those. I mean, like,
oh yeah.
I know Children's Week is the big holiday, but I enjoy that one. I could even see the celebration for when we liberated Mechagon, and kind of like whenever the first team fully completed Operation Mechagon, that day every year, have like a celebration and stuff like that. And you can go in and have like gnomes dancing around.
Similar in shape and size.
Yeah. And so, some of us are furry, especially if we're wearing the Yeti hoodie and stuff like that. So a little birdie tells me that you've been promoted to raid leader.
Our raid lead recently decided to quit. Wow, that's sad, but I understand why. He burned out. Time for him to go play some other stuff. He'll be back. They always come back. But I've decided to step up and start raid leading in his place. So that's why I've decided to start taking my monk forward, because he was a tank and we need a replacement tank. So there we go.
How long has your raid team been around?
We actually started dabbling in the raids in the beginning. It was Heimal. And we initially just started by, maybe we can do it. Let's give it a shot. And Allie's saying in chat, I took over so she wouldn't have to do it, because, no offense, she kind of didn't handle it very well at the end of it when we first started going through it. But yeah, we started in Heimal and Warlords of Draenor, very slowly ramped up from there. Initially, it was just, let's all just hop into looking for raid together. And we did great. So we're like, let's try normal. We did normal, and I don't think we tried very many heroic modes until we got to Hellfire Citadel. And we actually managed to down Archimond ahead of the curve as a guild.
Nice!
Which was a huge achievement for our group. And
now you've kept it at heroic, and you just got AOTC for...
That was with Phalanx.
Okay.
This tier, we're kind of struggling a little bit. We have a lot of people in our raid group who are flaky at the best of times. They'll come in for a while and then they'll leave for various reasons, and they're a lot of our better people. So I have a lot of stuff that I'm going to have to ponder and figure out what we're going to be doing going forward. Like, obviously, we're going to step into Nyalotha. We're going to give it a shot. We'll go from there. I'm going to be a little harsher than our last raid lead was, but I'm not going to be not militaristic. And, do your job or you're out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be that kind of person. I will point out mistakes, but I will point out mistakes with encouragement. This is where we're doing it wrong. This is what we need to do to get it right. Come on, guys. Chop, chop.
And I appreciate that. Like when I've been on raids, I like when the raid leader keeps me disciplined, but isn't like strict. I mean, it's one reason why my dance instructor is so good is she is able to take me through some tough steps. Never tell me like, oh, you're an idiot for doing what you're doing, but always saying, here's where you can do better. And she knows how I can do better.
Exactly. Our last raid leader, I love the guy, but he didn't really lead so much as, oh, well, we died. Let's do it again. Oh, we died. Let's do it again. And he never actually pointed out what needed to be done. And oh my God, his raid explanations, his fight explanations were so long-winded and rambling. They were so bad.
By the time you get done, you're like, wait, what was the first step?
Exactly. By the time he's done explaining the fight, we're going, I think I zoned out about halfway through that. Could you go over it again?
I've been there, and I've seen some raid videos like that. I'm like, I don't get it. Is this your first time as a raid lead?
Yes, this is my first time as a raid lead.
Cool. I always love stories like that, where you're stepping up something that you raid, but it's fun trying something new, trying a new challenge.
We'll see how I do. Like I tell my boss at work, I love learning and attempting new things. It's honestly one of the things that I enjoy most. So this is going to be something new, and hopefully I can lead Kindred Embrace to another AOTC N'Zoth.
Yes, absolutely. With that, we think the Void Wing is what I think people have been saying is going to be it. And that's when I keep saying, in like, I keep floating the idea that the carrier groups we call like Friends to Death or something like that, or Friends to Not Avoid, or I've been trying to pun ideas to hopefully make one of them stick and be like the next Friendship Verb or
right, Friendship Verb.
Yeah. Oh, Friendship Moose was the one that one showed me the power of the community. I loved everybody came together on that one.
Right.
In getting ready for the raid lead, you've probably been getting advice from people. What is the best advice someone has given you about raid leading?
Everybody plays differently. There's not going to be one strategy where I can say this is how we're going to do it, and there's going to be some people who can't do it that way. So I need to be flexible and I need to be understanding. But at the same time, I also need to be firm. If somebody isn't working for the group, I need to let them know. Especially with our group, we're not the strongest raiders. There's some people out there who, like with the friendship groups, you can have a solid core of 10 people, and then they can fill in another 20 people and carry all them to victory. We're not that good. We're not that strong.
That was one thing I've been amazed. Facepull and then Catalina One Mixer, those are two ones that have helped me get AOTC, and they carried me. But I was always amazed at how that group, they told me what to do, so I wouldn't be the worst for them. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and finding how you as a team gel together.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hopefully we can get another AOTC.
And beat N'Zoth, or at least beat one of N'Zoth's tentacles. One of his
tentacles. Poke him in one of his eyes.
Yeah. And there's another, I think probably one of life's toughest raids ever. So listener Mitrofan has asked me in the past to ask guests about balancing WoW in a relationship. And I think relationships are probably one of the hardest things. I've not been in one, but I know people who are in one. And Allie and you are close. What is it like being married to someone who plays WoW?
Well, considering the fact that I play WoW myself, it's a dream come true. It's something that we can share with each other. It's something that we can do together, and it's something we both enjoy. I'm sure you've heard stories about couples who one person does play WoW and the other one doesn't.
Yeah.
So the spouse is like, why are you always wasting your time on this stupid game? Whereas Allie and I were like, let's go play WoW. And she's like, okay. So we go play WoW, and we both have a great time doing it. Obviously, we're both adults. I mean, I turned 38 this year, so I have adult things to do. And sometimes I just can't play. But at the same time, if she's playing, I don't question why she's playing. And if I'm playing and she can't, she doesn't question why I am. I have nothing to complain about. I can't find anything to complain about.
And I enjoyed seeing both of you geek out at BlizzCon. It was cool seeing you both sharing that geeking together. I was like, because that's something that I don't have, is I don't have somebody to like geek out with. So I geek out with everybody that I know. But yeah, I know people who have sold accounts because their wife said, nope, you can't. Or in the same vein, a husband said to a wife, nope, you can't play WoW, and they've sold accounts. I mean, one had to quit WoW. Yeah,
it's one of the things that, seeing my own parents' relationship, and I'm saying they did this wrong, you got to understand that your spouse is going to have their thing. And you have to be lenient. You have to support each other. That's what the relationship is. You give all of yourself to them, and they give all of themselves to you. And with that comes, understanding that they're going to like some things that you don't, and you're going to like some things that they don't. You should be happy for that person and support them in their hobbies and interests. I mean, it seems really simple to me, but some people just can't grasp that concept.
Yeah. I know relationships where it's all about what one spouse likes, and they're upset if the other spouse doesn't show interest, but they never show interest in what the other spouse is into. And then in Twitch, I was talking with Telleroyd, Capo, Leah Wild, and others about the possible 6 to 8 month or longer drought that may be coming. So what do you plan to do?
Same thing I do during every drought. I go and I try to get achievements and mounts that I don't have yet. Honestly, the drought periods are some of the best times to do that, and I kind of look forward to them.
I'm going to follow the same boat. Like I've got Lore Master lined up for me. I've got mount runs, and even loving a few ally races. I was in my Lore Master zone, and all of a sudden 8.3 drops. I'm like, okay, got to put that on the back burner for a little bit. I love the new expansion feel. Like I love when I open BFA having all these quests to do, but it is also, it's so much that like you don't want to sleep because you want to keep playing.
Right. There's a lot of stuff to do. You just want to keep going and keep going.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the stuff that you haven't gotten around to do ends up falling on the wayside. And that's honestly, that's what is great about those droughts. You can pick that stuff back up and get back to it. The stuff is always there. I don't think that there's anything in World of Warcraft so far that has been do it now or you lose it.
Yeah. I'd say like Mage Towers, only a few specific things have been that. And like PvP
Mage
seasons.
Towers. Yeah, Mage Towers and PvP seasons.
And those I don't try for anyway, so I'm good. I in the beginning when I first came back to WoW, it made me nuts that there were things I would never get, and it made me nuts that I didn't get the first aid thing at the end of Legion. There were things that I just said I'm going to focus on. I think it was like Hazelnutty or somebody said focus on one thing. What you get, great. What you don't get, it's all good. And Allie's going to try to take over the world.
Yep, same thing we do every drought. Try to take over the world.
And Michael Gaines is going to make $1 billion playing EVE Online. Oh, but just be careful. If you take a ship through a hostile area, Mike, you might lose all of that.
Ugh.
Yeah, I've seen like what Goon Squad did, and I was like, oh. I mean, I think Goon Squad's great. That I love what they do, except I would never want to be in their targets. Well, I want to thank you for joining me on FrazlCast. It was fun. It always goes fast. Like every week, it feels like, wow, we're already done.
Yeah, tonight went really fast.
And we covered a lot. We covered 8.3, covered what we've been up to, and then even talked about relationships. And I want to thank you again for coming on, and definitely gonna bring you back. I enjoy talking with you. And someone told me feedback that like they love the episodes of Dungeon Fables where you and Allie talk, because they said it's fun getting that perspective. And if people haven't listened to it, there's a post-BlizzCon episode where Brandon and Allie talk. It is awesome.
I love being here, Frazley, and I like guesting on podcasts. It's fun. I don't know if I'd ever be able to do my own, if just because I don't have the time. The time and effort you guys put into your podcasts. I mean, all of you, Jin, Starman, my wife. It's amazing, and it's honestly awe-inspiring. Love you guys for it. So thanks again for having me here.
I'm actually amazed that people like Michael and Allie who have spouses and partners, because it's like, I don't have it to worry about another partner. So I can devote time that I would typically be doing the romance to doing podcasting. So where can we find you on the interwebs?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at SniperfrogDX. I'm also on Twitch at the same name. No, wait, sorry, that one's backwards. SniperfrogXD on Twitch. Because actually, I had my last Twitch account stolen, and they haven't given it back to me yet.
Oh, I thought you were going for the XD of like the XD face.
No, I just reverse the letters to basically get back into it.
And definitely anybody watching who has a Twitch account, make sure to turn two-factor authentication on. I won't say that it prevents it, but it's definitely a big deterrent.
It definitely.
And don't reuse the same password that on there that you use on Disney Plus.
For sure.
Activating customized Corpus A transporter.
Well, I am back in my Ironforge until we one day reclaim Gnomergon.
Wow, I'm a gnome.
Let's look at what has been happening in the community.
Awesome. Let's do that. So we got 2 items this week. Warcraft 3 Reforged launches soon, and IG in Australia sat down with some Blizzard devs to do a 25-year look at the history of Warcraft and they also had about 15 years of World of Warcraft. And Pete has alerted me that the race for World First for Azar is having some complexity added, as Limit and Complexity are teaming up. Sorry, I had to do it. This will join Method, who will begin on January 28th. This should be a fun one to watch. Let's push it to the limit! Sorry, there's no method to my madness on these puns. Try not to make them too complex. Okay, I'm done.
This has been another awesome episode of FrazlCast. Take it away, Frazzlepants.
Thank you, Scruffy. So I was on People of Azeroth episode 12, and I got to chat with Juno. So this is a relatively new podcast, and one that I feel was a lot of fun. Juno is like me and has a ton of energy and passion for the people in the community. And a shout out to Kara, who tweeted that they liked the Horrific Visions Frazz report that I did last week. Kara also tweeted that Jeffrey Combs is to Star Trek as I am to WoW podcasts. I very much am honored to be likened to Jeffrey. I'm boldly going where no gnome has gone before. And then Torloff left a comment on YouTube that they liked the Horrific Visions Frazz report. Thank you, my friend, for your kind words. And Jinjin posted on Twitch that they also loved the Horrific Visions Frazz report. This is turning out to be one of my most liked reports in recent history. I had a blast making it to commemorate the launch of 8.3. And Capo said he was laughing during that one. You should hear his laughs. They are incredible. And Crush said that his mom called to talk about Crush's Cavern and his appearance on FrazlCast. I think this might be a first. I did have Amanda's awesome parents jump into voice chat during one of my streams. Am I becoming liked by people's parents? Oh, that's cool. And I recently added a FrazlDoes reward, which is my channel's point system, and this reward allows people to request a song and optionally a genre to be added to FrazlCast. Telleroyd, who is also my first tier 2 sub, thank you so much, you get the train emote! Well, they requested a rap about me being a podcaster. So here it goes, the world premiere of Yo, I'm Fraz. Yo, I'm Frazley and I'm here to rap. Get a whip of my stuff, and I hope I don't make you nap. Some may call me the hardest working gnome, as I'm just relaxing, chilling on the microphone. Yeah! Puns flow. Yeah, watch me go. I just like having fun each day after walking in the sun. Yeah, I'm on a lot of podcasts. There's no way you can escape me. How many podcasts am I on? That's so many, I lost count. There's no way to escape me. I am Fraz. I play a lot of World of Warcraft. What class? Warrior! Yo, I'm Fraz and I'm here to rap. Get a whip of myself and I hope I don't make you nap. Some may call me the hardest working gnome in Azeroth. I'm just relaxing, chilling out on the microphone. The puns flow. Yeah, watch me go. Yo, Sal, my friend from Coney Island. Yo, Sal, you like green hair, but I say blue hair is more fair. Don't believe a word of what I'm saying. I'm just playing. You be you, and I am rooting for you. Spreading positivity better than what's on TV. Yo, I'm Fraz. Get a whiff of my stuff and I hope I don't make you nap. This was my rap. I think I'm all done. Telling Roy requested this on my Twitch. I hope I didn't make you flinch. Now that I am sorry if I didn't scare you off, thank you Telleroyd for that, and I had a lot of fun making that. Well, for those who are not napping, every episode I like to thank those who have given back to the show financially. Thank you to my Twitch subs out there. Thank you to Ali at Dungeon Fables, Alessander, Burkhart, Capo, Chris of MMO Reporter, Crunk, Gia, Jendin, Lance Gamer, Michael the Genome Project, Nihar, Pete of Project Phoenix Productions, Razarus, Savvy the Nerd, Scissorlord, Sinister Gaming, Helen Royd, Thorn of Lagging Balls, and Zortz the Goblin. And thank you to Bluka2, Capo, and the Scruffy Druid for the bits. And fun fact, Bluka2 cheered the bits on my second Coffee Walk stream. If you want to support the show financially, please go to support.gnomepodcast.com. And if you have Twitch Prime through Amazon Prime, you can use your free Twitch Prime subscription on my channel. I even added a cool thing. You can now use the Twitch emotes in WhatsApp. I've got a link in the Twitch subscribers channel on the Sparkspans Discord. All of your support goes helping support this labor of love. Thank you so much. Every week, the hours that goes into making the show, you make it possible. Well, I am Frazley, and you can find the show at gnomepodcast.com. There you can catch past episodes and find out many of the places where you can subscribe to this show to get it every week in your podcast app. Well, until next week, be awesome.
Strange disease leaves many saying, I can't see clearly now. It's the Overly Dramatic News. I'm Hunts the Wind. Being a doctor on Azeroth is certainly a challenge, as it seems every couple of years some previously unknown malady spreads like wildfire through both Alliance and Horde. Nobody can forget the corrupted blood pandemic spread by pets from Zul'Gurub, or the great zombie plague as the expeditions to Northrend to battle the Lich King got underway. Doctors struggled against horrific odds, but succeeded in controlling them. Some threats are not as contagious, but just as deadly. Shortly after Dalaran was moved above the Broken Isles, a massive outbreak of food poisoning forced Kirin-Tor physicians to beef up their knowledge of gastrointestinal medicine. Fortunately, some quick detective work revealed the source to be a certain Pandaren poor cooking technique, and once everyone stopped eating his cuisine, the outbreak subsided. So it's no surprise that as the campaign against Ajara ends, a new mysterious malady has arisen. People of all races are reporting symptoms including blurred vision, a propensity to perceive purple, and difficulty distinguishing reality. A new type of doctor has come forth to treat these victims. Able to subtly twist reality, these healers present alternate visions to patients and ask them, does this look better? How about this? How about now? Until the patient once again can distinguish real from unreal. So if you've filled your eyes with that double vision, we urge you to make an appointment with a Nazoptometrist. Broadcasting across all Azeroth, I'm Hunts the Wind. Check out the archives at overlydramaticnews.com or follow me on Twitter at Hunts the Wind.
Hold Buxley directly at flame. Buxley here to answer your World of Warcraft questions in this edition of Ask Buxley. This question is about weird events. Dear Buxley, there seem to be a lot of weird things and people in Vale of Eternal Blossoms right now. What's going on? Well, I had not been back to Pandaria in quite a long time, which is frankly quite a bit of a shame because I really like to take out food there. And I've always liked the Vale of Eternal Blossoms because it's quite a beautiful place with lots of lovely plants, so I was excited to go. Well, I don't know who the heck has been hired to keep the gardens in that place, but they really let it go. I mean, tentacles everywhere, eyeballs stuck to statues and rocks, and lots of weirdos running around. I don't know if there was a gardeners or what, but they were not doing a good job at all. The weeds and everything were out of control. So I go flying around looking for a good place to land, and all of a sudden I hear this voice saying things like, "Who are you to resist me? All your visions shall be made real." And I think, wow, what a weird thing to have commercials for fast food in Pandaria. Then I realize there's some big ugly monster telling me this, and all these minions and eyeballs and squiggly things are because of this monster guy. I forget his name. It was something like Nabrath or Nagath or David Lee Roth. Anyway, with all those tentacles, I just started calling him Squidward. He did not like that at all. I have to say, I never really saw the appeal of working for a big ugly monster like that. He must offer amazing stock options. Thanks for your question.
If you'd like to see what I'm up to every day, follow Ask Buxley on Twitter. You can listen to the archives at AskBuxley.com.
Moo.
FrazlCast is a fan podcast that covers Blizzard games. We are not affiliated with Blizzard Entertainment, Inc. Views expressed by the hosts and guests are their own. Some of the art, music, and sound effects come from Blizzard Games, and they are owned by Blizzard Entertainment, Inc. No copyright infringement is intended. This show is for the community, and it contains contributions from the community. The Gnome Train Intro is by Ali of Dungeon Fables and All Things Azeroth. The opening music is by Brandon T. Blaylock. The Gnome Roar is by Jen of Morally Grey Podcast. And the Frazzlepants bumper at the end is by the Scruffy Druid of Loot Optional and Viral Voice Arts.
This show is brought to you by Dragon Powered Studio. Find more at dragonpoweredstudio.com.
Nice. Glad you're getting hooked on podcasts. You know, I could be a new thing. I'm Frazley, and this is Hooked on Podcasts. We'll start you off with your first podcast. Start with something really easy, like one of the NPR podcasts. This is NPR. Then if you want it, we'll add in like a start here or a post reports, one of your news reports, go into a newsworthy. Then once you get into it, we'll delve into your niche, like Warcraft, like Morally Grey, Dungeon Fables, World of Warcast, or if you're into Trek, This Week in Trek. And then from there, we'll take it farther. So, look at the run. Don't get frazzled, Frazley.